Android development. Okay, so specifically, we are going to be downloading Android Studio. So right now, I'll copy this link and put it in the chat box. Wait, yeah. So guys, please click the link I have sent in the chat box so you can download from here. Okay, so make sure you read all those stuff here. Wait, okay, make sure you read all those stuff here and just click the I've read and agree these above terms and download, and it will start to download. Okay, so I'll pass the session to Lawrence and he will explain some of the terminologies in the app development.
Okay, so once you have clicked the download, because the file is pretty big, it's like 900 plus megabytes if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we will buy those time with this term explanations. So we'll start with Android. And if you search the dictionary for the word Android, it will show you a robot. But in this case, Android as a special noun, proper noun, means a mobile OS created by Google and is one of the two largest mobile operating systems in the world. And the other biggest OS is iOS, which is created by Apple. So what is OS? As written below, OS is operating system. It's a system software that manages the computer services. So every device, every electronic device has an OS. So for mobile phones, it can be Android or iOS. And for laptops, the popular OS will be Windows and there is Linux. So all these are operating systems. Part 2. Android Application Package or APK is a file format for Android apps. So this file format varies across different operating systems. Like currently you are downloading exe file. So the exe format is for PC or laptop applications. And then for iOS, it runs on the IPA format. So APK will be the file format for Android applications, and it's only able to run on Android devices. So next is SDK. It's a software dev kit. It's a set of programming tools to help to specifically aid your software development on a particular platform. So particular platform means that it varies. Like for example, for Android Studio, you'll be using Java Development Kit, so JDK. The programming language used is Java. So before you run Android Studio, you should have JDK installed in your computer, which I believe most of you already do because you have taken like fundamentals of programming in semester 1. Okay, next. So after SDK, we have API, Application Programming Interface. Is a specification of how various apps can interact with software. So SDK are also referred as tools. API are also tools. Then what's the difference? So SDK is like a more robust platform with more utilities, and API is like a specific addition to your application. So if we take the analogy of building a house, that SDK will be the groundwork and all the pillars that you build up so that you have a house. And then API will be the extra features you like in your house, like aircon, solar panel, or even water heater. So API is more function specific compared to SDK. And you can have multiple APIs built on a single SDK. Emulator. So it's an app that it duplicates the function of hardware or OS for testing purposes. So I believe like many people here, you have seen like simulator games. You have Surgeon Simulator, Goat Simulator, and whatnot. Even a Bread Simulator. So an emulator is a professional or serious version of a simulator. And in this case, Android Studio uses the emulator to create an Android phone on your laptop or your PC. Why? Because you are creating an Android app. It's an APK. So the APK cannot run on your PC. Your PC can only run exe files. So the emulator creates an Android phone so that your app can run on that phone. So yeah, it will be as if saying that your PC has two operating systems running at the same time. One is your real OS, one is an emulated Android OS. Next, we have XML, Extensible Markup Language. It's a form of writing information structured as a hierarchy in key value pairs. So for some of you who have gone through database, you'll learn about more of XML. But in Android Studio, XML is where you can look at how your app looks like, and you can edit the views of your app from there. Next. Okay, Gradle. So Gradle is a tool used by Android Studio to build your app automatically. So when you run your emulator from Android Studio, the app doesn't just fall out from the sky. So there must be a tool to create the app, and then it can run inside your emulator or your Android phone. So Gradle will be the tool we use to create the app. Some similar examples will be Pygame for you, some of you who use Python, and then some of you who use Unity or Love2D. There is also a special tool used to build your app. So for Android apps, for Android Studio, we will use Gradle. Next is UDID or Unique Device Identifier. It's like your IC or your passport number. Everyone has one, and it's unique to you because it represents your identity. Same for every mobile device, okay? And it's assigned by the manufacturer. Next. Lastly, we have part 5. Okay, so real-time data. This one is pretty straightforward. It's information that's delivered immediately after collecting without any delay. So when you market your app, then your data is stored in a server, and there's a database there. So there must be real time, means you don't really have to wait when you enter data. For example, you upload a photo in Facebook or Instagram, then you immediately see it posted on your profile. There's hardly any wait time, maybe just a few seconds, and any longer than that, it will decrease your customer satisfaction. So when we're dealing with app development, real-time data is what we usually use the most. Next is UI, user interface. It's the design of, in this case, mobile app, or it can be any software app with for the user to use. And in fact, like right now, I am using this Microsoft Teams interface. You are using it too, and I'm talking to the screen, and real-time data gets sent to every one of you, where you see my video and you hear my voice. So UI is one thing that I want all of you to keep in mind while designing your apps, that the design of your UI determines a lot on the success of your application. Even if your app might be really powerful, it might be really functional, but if you design your UI poorly, I doubt it will bring satisfaction to your customer. And the last term you have here is scalable pixel SP. So it's a unit to specify your font size. And the reason we use SP here because the Android system calculates the actual font size based on the device, so that you can get like your layout stays how it wants to be across different devices, from a tab to a small cell phone to even a larger size phone, and even you have the Samsung Flip or Fold. But when you use SP, then you can get the layout like it stays there, so things don't like go jagged or jump out of place. And if you are interested to know more, you can go to this link here. It has like all the classes. It's a long documentation, and here I'm just picked out a few key points here. All right, so that's it for terminology. I'm passing it back to Jia Hong.
Oh, sorry, I'm accidentally unsharing my screen. Wait, yeah.
Okay.
Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, okay, the Android Studio is an example of IDE. So, an IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and here are some of the IDE. Wait, yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear? Wait, someone is in the lobby. Okay. Okay.
Got you covered.
Okay. So, and here are some of the examples of IDE you may hear of, like NetBeans, Eclipse, IntelliJ, and Visual Studio Code. So it's a glorified text editor. So instead of doing everything inside a notepad, we can get a little bit more capabilities and features that build around whatever software we are building. So in these situations, this IDE, which is Android Studio, is going to give us access to emulators for different cell phone. Okay, so while downloading the Android Studios, so make sure you have downloaded the Java JDK. So as we will be writing this Android app in Java. So if you haven't downloaded yet, I'll put a link in the chat box. So I've sent the link in the chat box and you can download from here, okay, for the JDK. So right now, I will start a new project. So can I ask, do you guys finish download your Android Studio? Anyone?
You can send a reaction.
Yeah. Pardon? Anyone speaking?
Oh, still processing.
Oh, still processing. So finish for you. Okay, so then I think I'll give 5 minutes for you guys to download because we need to start the project. Yeah. So okay, it's still loading for you. Okay. So I'll give 5 minutes for you guys to download the Android Studio. Yeah, before we start. So you no need to choose anything. So later I'll teach you how to uh, install those SDK and emulators. So just wait for the file to download, then it's okay. Yeah. So do you guys finish downloading? Anyone still downloading? We wait till 8:25. Yeah.
Yeah, like we will teach you how to like open the whole app after you finish downloading. So when you when your browser says download finish, you can just wait for a while.
Okay, done. Yeah, nice. So when you just download it, then you just click the run, run for the, so like, yeah. Okay, then, so while waiting, you guys can just maybe go for toilet break. Yeah. So 8:25, I will start again. Yeah. Okay, all right. So are you guys here right now? So I'll be start, right? Okay, are you guys okay with it? Anyone still downloading? If no, I will proceed, okay? Okay, so right now we will start to create a new project. Okay, so so when I click new project, right, here you'll see uh, some of the templates. So these templates are just small applications that have some code written to some level. So for example, in this basic activities, so you can see a small button here and a menu here. So for example, so don't worry about this activity yet. So we will discuss this further in the next session. So but for now, we will create the projects with empty activities here. So just click next. So right now here, you can rename this application. So let's say hello world. Hello world. Okay, so yeah, you can rename it like iDiary or diary, anything. Okay, so for the package name, right, you will define the package name, but the package name should be unique to every applications. Okay, so after that, you can define the path location that you want to save your project. So you can just click this, double click, so you can choose like where you want to store your projects. Okay, so for me, I will stay default. Okay, so for the language, right? Okay, so Android applications can return in Java language and Kotlin. So in this workshop, we are going to stay with Java. So make sure that you choose Java for the language. Okay, Java. Okay, so what is minimum SDK here? Okay, so the minimum API level in here means that how many older Android device can install your applications. So for example, when you click this, the older versions for me it's API 16, but I'll stay in default lah. Okay, so just click finish and your application will start to build. So can you guys follow? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So okay, so when you build the project, right, if it's the first time that you're creating these Android applications, so this process can be very slow because the Android Studio is going to download some of the stuff, for example, like radio files. Okay. Okay. So while you guys loading, so I'll be just explaining the Android Studio, the like some of the features. Okay. So so in Android Studios, right, when you run the applications, it doesn't work the same way as what you did if you are programming in Java in IntelliJ using console. So in Android Studios, you will need an emulator to act as a mobile phone. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about next. So if you guys okay, then we will start to go to the download the emulator. Okay, so just click the right here. Here got a call AVD manager. So you'll just need to follow me and click AVD manager here. Okay. So actually on this page it's a Android virtual device manager. So you can manage all your virtual device here. So okay, what is virtual device? Like what is like phone lah? Okay. So virtual device is like a phone that you have on your computer. So you can like click around using your touchpad, mouse, or whatever you are using. Okay, so let's create a virtual device. So click here, create a virtual device. So okay, here there are pop-ups of different phone options. So we got Pixel phone, Nexus, Samsung Galaxy, those phone. Okay, so I will just simply go with the Pixel phone, Pixel 5. Okay, so click this and click next. Okay, so on here we'll be downloading the system image, which I'll be downloading the latest version, which is R. So when you click this, it will start to download. Okay, because I have downloaded, so yeah. So for you guys, you just click and it will start to download. Okay, so for the 8x86 image, you also need to use R here. So click R, and the other image you also gonna choose R. So all of the thing you must choose the same API level, or else you can't run your application. Yeah. So it might take some time to download because it's a heavy file. Yeah. So I think I'll give you like 3 to 5 minutes to download the API SDK thing. Okay. So if you finish download, then just put it in the chat box. Okay. So while you guys downloading, so I want to explain here, okay? So if you choose R, you can see right here, you will see this is the Android 11 version, okay? And the API level is 30. So, and you can see the API level distribution chart. So when you click this, so you can see which version is the most popular. So it's the Jelly Bean version, the API level 11. So you can support most of the phone, yeah. Okay. Hardware. Which hardware you mean? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the phone level Pixel 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you can choose any phone lah. Actually, you can choose any phone here. Yeah, just based on your preference. But for the recommended system image, you'll be going to use the R one. So for all of these three, you're going to use R, okay? Yeah. So when finished, you just click finish. Okay. Okay, so are you guys finished downloading? Okay, nice. Okay. So right now, okay, so when you click the next here, right? When you click next from here, so you can rename your AVD name, like you can put any name you want, okay? So I'll just stay to default. And this graphic, make sure you choose the software one, or else it might come out with some errors. Yeah. So just choose the software one and click finish. Okay. So right now, we'll go to the SDK manager, also right on top here. SDK manager. So we'll click this SDK manager. So for the SDK platform, right, we'll select the Android 11. So you just click and apply, then it will start to download. Okay. So you guys can follow, right? Everyone can follow, right? Okay. So for the SDK tools, right, we'll be selecting Android SDK. Okay. So it's the platform and SDK tool. So for the SDK tool here, you can select Android SDK build tools, Android emulator. So select like this, select Android SDK platform tools, all the Google Plays, and the Intel x86 emulator accelerator. Okay, so when you select all these, then you just click apply and it will start to download also. Okay, so I think it takes also some times because it's like 1 GB plus. Okay, so do you guys need some time, or it's very fast for you guys to download it? Yeah, alright, okay. So while you guys downloading, right, okay, I'll start to explain like how the Android Studio, the file structure here, because it's kind of a lot of files, so it's kind of confusing. So let's talk about the projecting here, okay? So in here, right, I can maximize or minimize the projecting, and also we have multiple options. So like we can choose Android view, we can choose the project view, okay? So right now I will show you the project view first, okay? So see, these project options, right, shows the structure of the file on your systems. So like your just now the you create a Hello World project, so you show the whole structure. So if you choose the project option, okay. So for example, if you want to access to this main activity.java, so you want to click the app here, click the source here, main Java. Inside your package, you'll find the main activity, which is this file. Okay. So okay, I think I will show you in the Explorer options so you can see how it's works out. Okay. So I'll open with the Explorer here. So in here, right? So I have like this Hello World application project. So when I click in, okay, so I want to find the main activity.java. So I'll click the app here. And in the app, I'll click in the source. So in the source, I'll click into the main. So in the main, I'll click into the Java file and the package. So I will find my main activity.java here. Okay. Okay. So actually, right, if we change to the Android view, it will be more simple for you guys to look. So for most of the time in this workshop, we will be using the Android view. Yeah. So during the Android view, right, it's kind of simple to navigate to this main activity.java. So we'll change to this Android view. You see here, app, Java, here, and you'll find main activity. So it's kind of much more easier for you guys to follow. Yeah. So please change to the Android view during the whole session. Okay. So do you guys finish downloading? Right? Okay, right. So I think I'll continue to explain that. Yeah.
Someone asked that they missed the SDK part. Can you show the SDK where to download again?
Oh, sure. Okay. So on the right on top here, there will be the SDK manager here. Just click here. So for the platform, we're gonna use the Android 11. Just click this and press the apply, and it will start to download. Okay. So I think everyone got download this just for the SDK tool, right? So for the SDK tool, right, you just follow this Android SDK, build tools, emulator, Android SDK platform, and all the Google file and the Intel. So I'll be staying this screen for like 1 minute now for you guys to check. Yeah, if you guys got download all of these, else it might have some error if you guys running your emulator, which is the virtual phone. Yeah. So if you selected all these, just click apply and it will start to download. Okay, so I'll put this screen here for 1 minute lah, till 8:42. So are you guys okay with the SDK thing? If okay, I think I'll proceed. Okay. So for those who just now didn't hear of the project structure, I think I will explain again because I think some of you facing issues, so you guys didn't hear most of it. Okay. So okay, right now I'll explain this. So at the left top here, you can select the view you want to choose. So it's like project view or the Android view. Okay. So I'll explain the project view first. So in the project view, it's the whole structure of the applications. So if I want to access to this main activity.java, so I'll click this hello world app sources main Java, and it will located inside the package of the one you just defined. Okay, and inside here you'll see the main activity. Okay, so I'll just show you how it's shown in the Explorer. Okay, so in Explorer, right, if you click the hello world, okay, so just now I say, right, app, okay, inside the app is the sources. Just now I open, okay, sources. So see here, main Java com example hello world. Okay, you'll find your main activity.java. Okay, so it's just a simple navigation process. Okay, so then I'll change to the project view. So for the project view, right, it's much more simple, so for you guys to follow. So for the most of the time in this workshop, you'll use the Android view. Yeah, so just click here, app open, when you open, and it located at here, this first, yeah, here. Okay, are you guys okay with it? Okay, so before I talk about this grader script, right, because got two file here. Okay, one is app file, one is grader script. So before I talk about the grader script, so I need to talk about the structure of every Android applications. Okay, so in here, all those things I will explain first. Okay, so in most of the Android application, right, there are at least two kind of files. The layout file, which define the look, which is the XML file, is define the look of the applications, and the Java file, which define the functionalities. Okay, so if you are developing in Kotlin, right, here will be the Kotlin file. If you are because we are developing in Java, so here's the Java file. Okay, so okay, what is the functionality? So okay, For example, right, what happens if you click on a button and what to do with the user input, right? So all of these will be handled in the Java file, okay? Okay, so in every Android application, so they might some other files, for example, like image and audio as well, right? So all of these image and audio so will be located in this resource file. All those resource we put here, okay? So for example, right, in the drawable folder here, you will see the called IC launcher. Okay, so in this drawable folder will contain all those image that need to use for the Android applications. Okay, so in here for me it's this because I put here. Okay, so I think for you guys it's the small Android icon here. Okay, so for the layout folder here, it's the activity.main.xml. Okay, so for the meat map, right, it will be the image 2, image. Okay, so for the values, right, for the values here, I just minimize all those first. So for the values, right, all the value of the resource we'll put here in the value folder. Okay, like the color, how you define the color. You see here all those color, okay, that we use in these applications. Okay, so besides that, right, we have the manifest file here. So in the manifest file, it's called Android manifest XML. So the manifest file specifies some of the general property for applications. So for example, you can see the icon of your applications, the name of your application like hello world, okay, and all those stuff lah. So we'll specify in here. Okay, so we'll talk about manifest file later in the workshop. Okay, so we have all of these different files in the Android application, right? But like when you go to download some application from the Play Store, so you'll see that only like got one file, one APK file. So that's the final application that will be released on the Play Store. So how are we going to generate that APK file? So well, in that case, so the grader tools here, it's going to be useful. So we will be creating the APK file, no matter if you want to release your applications or you want to test your application on an emulator. So you're going to need grader for that reasons. Okay. So we are going to work extensively with it. So the other use of grader is that if you want to use other people's code in your project, like for example, if you want to use YouTube player in your project, so you add the dependency right in here, this file called build grader, and inside you just need to add the one line of the YouTube player code, and as simple as that, the grader will help you to add to your project, add the code to your project. So you can use it. So grader is a build tools that will handle combinations of every files and other codes, and it will generate a APK file. Okay. Okay, so I'll close all of these. I'll explain these two files here. Okay, these two files. So when we created this project, right, and it will have some code written here. So I will explain what is this. Okay, so what is main activity.java? Okay, main activity.java is the activity that acts as the different page of our applications. Okay, so when we run the code, right, it will start from this line 11, create, okay, and we'll set the content of the activity.main. So when you run this thing, right, it will pop up these, you search for this and pop up the content, which is the layout, here. Okay, so now we'll talk about the layout editor here, okay, where you are looking right here. So this is how XML looks like, so it's basically a way to structure layout and applications. So you can see in here, right, there's one item in here, it's the text, hello world text. So inside our activity, you can take this drag and drop here, drag here, you'll change, okay? You even can like take the button view here and put it here. You got one button view here already, okay? So it's very simple, okay? So in this XML, right, when you click this here, you can choose the blueprint, you can choose the design, okay? And here you can change the orientations, like you want to change to landscape view, you want to change to portrait, okay? It's in here, okay? So all of these, it's in XML, the layout. So actually, XML is define how the application look, okay? So the Java will be define all those functions, okay? So right now, we will go to change the logo for this project because right now the project is using this image. So when you run the application, right, the logo of your project is this. So we want to change to our iDiary app. So how are we going to change it? So right now, you'll go to here, resource, right click, new, go to the image asset here. So can you guys follow? So I repeat again, new, when you right click, new here, image asset, click this, okay, it'll pop up all of these thing here. So because previously I've changed, so if in default, right, it will be the Android icon here. So how to change to this? So right here, you click the image, any image you want to change. So just like click here, then choose the picture you want to change, the icon, any pictures. Maybe you can find it online, but later in the course, we will provide you this icon, okay? So click this, okay, press okay, and you can trim it, the size, like how big you want to look, how big you can resize it. So for me, we will go to put 46%, okay? So for the background layer, right, we can change the background layer. Like you want to put image also can, you want to change the color also can, because this colors looks like very ugly, because it's like not match. So I'll change the color, like you can change any color you want, yeah, any color. So for me, right, I'll change the pastel color lah, look more nice, yeah. So after all, right, you just need to click next, and it will start to overwrite all those files. Like previously is the Android icon, right? So when you click this, it will start to overwrite all those files, and it will change to this icon, yeah. So when I run the application, you can see lah later, it changed from this to the iDiary logo, okay? It might take some time to load lah, because this emulator a bit heavy, like 9 GB like that, okay? So can you guys follow? Okay, so it's still loading. Okay, so let's see lah. It might take some time, so chill. If you can't run the emulator, you just put it in the chat lah. So our team will come out to help you guys, okay? So just put any problem you face in the chat box. So are you guys okay? No issue, is it? So it might take some time to load, yeah. So I think for you guys also, it will take kind of like 2 to 3 minutes to load this emulator, yeah. Can you repeat okay, so for the color part, right? Okay, so you just need to right click the resource file here, right click, new, and go to the image asset. So can you follow? So when I click this, so I repeat again, press source, right click new, image asset. So when I click this image asset, right, you just need to change the image you want. So like if you want to choose like anything, because for me it's image one, because I have designed for this iDiary, so we'll be using an image. So just double click this file and find the image, find any image, and just click this file and it will, okay, so it will go to this path. So just resize it. If you want to resize, then you resize it. So for the background layer, right, because this might not match, so I changed the color. So you just click the asset color here and click this, double click, then you can customize the color. So for me, right, I'll change to the pastel color, FDEPE. Okay, so when you just finish, then you click next and you'll start to override it. Just click finish, yeah, then you're done. Okay. Okay, so can you guys see the screen? So when I run the application, right, so it will pop up this thing, hello world. Okay, the small little text, because in here, right, only have the small little text here. So when you run the application, it will show hello world. Okay, so this is our first application we create. Okay, so when I click this home button, right, click the home button, a bit lag lah. When I click the home button, when I swipe up, so you see my hello world application, right, changed to the picture, this picture already. Okay, so it's so simple that you want to change your image, it's like very simple only. So I can change the icon of your application. Okay, so are you guys okay with what you guys can you guys follow? So if okay, I'll pass the sessions to Lawrence and he will continue with the Firebase introduction. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so let me share screen, yeah. One moment.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks from Jiahong. That was a lot of info. So right now we are gonna take 5. So in this 5-minute break, if you have anything that you don't understand, you would like us to repeat, please do ask in the chat box, and then we will answer you. Okay? So yeah, we will take 5 starting now.
Lawrence, I think you didn't share your screen. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Lawrence.
Sorry, Lawrence. Okay, just I need to remind something. Okay, I hope you guys are following up to here. One reminder for the attendance. So I need you guys to fill up the spreadsheet link that we just shared just now. It's in the chat box. And you guys have to put number 1 inside in the under the column that it's today's date, and write your name that you want us to give you the certificate with that name. So find your email. In front of your email, type your name and number 1. And this, keep in mind that this spreadsheet link is open only for this during these 2 hours. So by the end of our workshop for this session, it won't be longer available for you to do your attendance. So please keep in mind and go ahead, do your attendance. Thank you.
Lawrence, you have a black screen. I think you might want to share the whole screen, right? Okay.
This?
Yeah, I can see.
Nice.
So anyone have issue, just put it in the chat box. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
All right, 5 minutes is up, and yeah, we are going to continue with our slot here. Let me represent with Android Studio. So, yeah, okay, Android Studio. I mean Firebase. Sorry, NG. Okay, we are continuing our slot with Firebase. Yeah, you hear me? You hear me, right? Okay. So, let's start with thinking about this. Okay, in the past hour, you have created your first app with Android Studio, and you have even changed the icon. And technically, you can market your app already. It's just a matter of sense where people will actually buy it, lah. Okay. Then when you are out there and actually like doing business with app development, here's a few things to consider. First, there'll be users using your app, and then you might want like user login. So it means when there are users, there's a flow of data. That means that you want your data to store inside a database. And when you have a database, means you have valuable information inside. You want to consider about security. People might want to hack into your app or even into your server to sell those information out. And then there's competitors and adversarial effects coming from both the inside and the outside. So your external adversarial targets are your competitors, people who want to, who are developing a similar app to yours, and theirs are maybe doing better than you, or they want to be better than you. And internally, you have bugs that you need to fix. And the worst kind of bugs is those major bugs whom your users realize after you release, but you did not realize during development process. And with all this trouble, you haven't even make a single ringgit yet. So you want, like, app development should be money-making business. So you want to consider about how you make profit by creating apps and selling them. And then you want to collect statistics on your data. So how is my app doing? Like, is it good? Which kind of people like it? Is it like more of a children thing, or is it more kind of an old adult kind of app? You want to know about that. And then how do you like improve your apps? See, not many apps today, like they keep on updating so that they can improve. Like Facebook recently changed its company name to Meta, but yeah, Facebook is still Facebook. So all these are like small improvements, and you can think about like good updates and bad updates. Like one of the bad updates I've thought of is recently like Among Us. There was this update on the chat system where you there's this adult chat. I don't play, so I'm not really sure. Like children cannot use like free chat anymore. But and then many people actually like just say that it was bad. So you don't want that to happen to your app. You want to know like, is this update going to improve my app, or is it going to make it worse before you release it and actually like, you know, it burns into a fire. So all this trouble proves that app management is as complicated as app development. And that's why Google created Firebase. It's a platform meant to support us app developers to create our app, and that it helps us with the backstage management so that we can focus on creating the content that we like. So this is the link here to firebase.google.com. And before we hop in, I would like to go through a few functions that's provided in Firebase. So here are the list that's roughly divided into project settings, build, release, and monitor, analytics, engage, and extensions. So let's go through them one by one. First, project settings, you can see it in this gear. You click this gear part when you enter Firebase, and then it's right here. Okay, so in Firebase console, project settings contains the basic info about your app, and here's the general settings and configs like your app name. There's some IDs, some SSH keys, which are like permission keys. Then you have integrations and you have accounts. So you can control who has access to your project, not your app. So project and app are two different things. Like your project is created in Firebase so that it provides the management to the app. So you can control like who can manage that project. Like for example, like you can have millions of people having access, or they are users of the Facebook app, but who has access to the management part or the console part of Facebook? Only the staff of Facebook. So you can control that, like who is your staff, you control them in project settings. Next we have build. Build is like the main part of Firebase console. It's like the most important and the part that you will use the most. Okay, so first we have authentication. So difference from like the project settings here, you have your accounts. In authentication, it controls how users sign in from different platforms. For example, like in iDiary, just now in the demo, Jiahong signed in via Google accounts. And then of course you can change it that you can sign in via, let's say, Facebook or even GitHub, or it's up to you. So you can control like how your users when using your app can sign in. Then Firestone database and real-time database are two databases created in Firebase console for you to store your information as well as storage. We'll talk about this later. And then there's hosting for web functions, and then for web applications, to not mix up with the word functions, which is right below, which is more of a server-side code. And then there's machine learning to provide some automation to your app. Then there's release and monitor. So Crashlytics show what happens to your app when it crashes, like why, the how, and yeah, even the who, like maybe on what device it crashes, some other device it doesn't. Performance monitor, as the name says, so what happens, like how good is your app running. Test lab, you can test your app before you release. And then app distribution is a function for you to send your pre-coded app before release to testers, then that you can get feedback from them. Okay, then the next portion we have analytics. This is pretty much just the statistics about your app. You have like so many here. It's just like different aspects of how well your app is doing after it's been released to the real world. And here you have a lot of real-time data where you can actually like look at it and you can understand how good is your app doing out there, or where can you see the source of improvement. And you have engage. So engage is more about thinking a step ahead, looking at the future of your app, like how far can your app go. So you have like predictions, A/B testing, remote config, you have dynamics, and even app mod. All these are meant to bring extra future, extra. It can be extra revenue, extra potential, or even just more likes to your app. Okay, and the next, there is extensions. So extensions are pre-written packages. You see, because no matter how small your code function is, you can just type a function in code. You still need to test it. So extensions provide you like small packages of functions, so that you can just import them. Like in for some of you, like Python, you can import libraries. Same for Java, or if some of you have used like pip install something, extensions work very similarly. So some functions like image resizing, auto sending emails, of course you can type it out, but in this case, Firebase provides it for you. Just take the package, install it into your Android Studio, and you can run it immediately. So it saves you a lot of time and effort. Okay, so with that, we will go into the website. Okay, it's here. Yeah, seeing my redirect page, right? Okay, so this is firebase.google.com, and there's actually a lot of info here. Like this website is really intuitive. You see, like you're the first time here, you can try demo, watch videos. There's a lot of documentation going on here. So you can log in into the account that you want. I prefer my Syswa account actually, but it's the same. And we will click on the go to console part. Okay, actually, from right now, like I actually hope that everyone can follow step by step with me. So on your device, you can go to firebase.google.com, or just Google search Firebase, and pretty much the first search will bring you to this website. Okay, then click on go to console. Okay, all following me. Okay, so this part, like all here, yeah. Let me just check. Yeah, okay, thanks, Xiaong. Okay, so welcome to Firebase. If it's your first time here, then this should be what you see. So you can view docs. This brings you to a lot of things. You can explore demo project, but I'll leave it to you for your own. Right now, click on create a project. So there are 3 steps to create a project. Really intuitive. Okay, just first one, enter your project name. So I'm going to type in iDiary. The case matters. So you want to start with a big I or a small I, you have to decide. You can do this iDiary, you can do a large I, but yeah, I think I'm comfortable with a small I. Okay, iDiary. Then just click on continue. Step 2, enable Google Analytics. You can disable them, but there's no point disabling since it's there. So why not? Continue. Step 3, you can select your default account for Firebase. Create project, and that's it. Like when this finishes, your project is created. Yeah, easy, right? So while this is loading, I'll show you the iDiary app. Okay, so this will be what it looks like, and we will go through one by one as shown in the slides just now. So first, I will bring you to project settings. Okay, so this is what you have here: the project name, iDiary, your ID, and whatnot. And if you hover over it, it can show some information about it. Okay, so you can scroll down, and these are your SHA keys. You have you can set an app nickname, your app IDs. Then one interesting here, you can click on like this delete project. It's okay, like it will warn you, but then okay, but once you delete it, you cannot retrieve it. So yeah, please like be careful lah. Okay, and then there's here like all these functions here I can leave for you to control. Integrations, what you want here, you can even integrate like Google Play, or even like cloud login, Google Ads, AdMob, integrate into your project. So I've seen like project quite a few times to not like mix it up with what is an app. Here, like when you create this new app, you will see this, add an app to get started. And then you can choose like iOS, Android, or web app, or even Unity. So even though Firebase is created by Google and Google creates the Android OS, a Firebase project can hold up to 30 applications. So means inside the same project of iDiary, you might have iDiary Android version, iDiary Apple, iDiary for the web, and even iDiary on Unity. And all inside the same single project, as long as it's not more than 30. But in this case, for throughout this course, we will just use one single Android app, which is iDiary, and it will be in this single project. Okay, you with me? So right now, you don't have to like follow me step by step. It's optional really, because I'm just gonna go through bring you a walkthrough throughout like how this Firebase console looks like. Okay, and if you are new here, like the smart thing about this console is that it knows that you are new, so it shows you all kinds of like very interesting graphics, and you can click into it and explore. Okay, so even like after this course, I really encourage you to spend some time just looking through all of it. So now let's go into build. So authentication, you can see here like you can control. So like most options are signing via Google, and there's this like Joker who signs in via email. Let's see who this Joker is. Okay, you don't want to know who this Joker is. Then you can choose like some sign-in methods. So you can add a new provider. Like you can sign in via Facebook or even like Twitter or even Microsoft, or as I said just now, like GitHub. When you add these providers inside, then when your user signs into your app, it will prompt them to choose from which providers they want to sign in. This is really up to you. Okay. Then Firestore database. So just now, as I said, right, I think this will look better here. So Firebase console has two kinds of database. One is called Cloud Firestore, and the other is called real-time database. Both of them work similar in the sense that data is stored in a NoSQL method. So NoSQL is where you store data as a key value pair. I'll show you an example of key value. You are seeing this thing, right? Let me check. Yeah. Okay. So in this key value pair, you see like how image is the key, the string image, and then the value is this string, the HTTPS, and then this web link. Or this key value pair where the key is the string nodes, and then the value is the string I'm so happy. We'll click into it and see. So here, yeah, this is the key and this is the value. So this will be how data is stored in both Cloud Firestore and real-time database. And the reason there are two kinds of databases for you to choose is because Cloud Firestore is a newer version. It's newer, it's more powerful, and it scales more. You see like how the introduction subtitle here writes it. It's meant for a larger scale, like enterprise scale kind of data. We're talking about like not just gigabytes, we're talking about like terabytes or even zettabytes. Something like Facebook, Instagram, yeah, you have a lot of users, so that's a lot of data. And real-time database is meant for a more low latency and for a smaller approach. Throughout this course, we will choose real-time database over Cloud Firestore because we don't really have a lot of data compared to all the apps in this whole world. So the simple summary is this: if your app has a lot of data, then Cloud Firestore is for you. And if you only need a little bit, but you want the low latency, then real-time database. And the billing, because like if you go up, your memory goes up to a certain amount, there is this like billing options that will prompt you to pay actually. Like here in usage, it sees your metrics. One moment, yeah. Yeah, so we've only used this much of memory. That's really not a lot. And we are like almost, like this is like the whole project already. So Cloud Firestore, the more powerful one, has a cheaper billing payment because like to encourage the enterprises to actually use Cloud Firestore and use a lot of like very big database set. And real-time database is a bit more expensive lah. So means if you are actually using a lot of data, consider Cloud Firestore, if not real-time. And then I've said like your app data is stored in these databases. Then what about like more complex data like audio or pictures or the combining of images and audio, which is video? Well, these data are essentially, all data can be broken down into zeros and ones. right? But it's not that intuitive if you were to store like all these zeros and ones. I'm talking about like not just millions, maybe like billions of zeros and ones in a string form inside your real-time database just because you want to store like videos. Yeah, it's not that smart lah. So that's why Firebase console created storage. So storage is where you store all those user-generated files, and then you can just store them inside your cloud users cloud storage lah. Okay. And for example here, yeah, I'm gonna open this folder, and you see here there's this JPEG file. Then when you click on it, the console even provides a preview of the image, and this is definitely 100 times smarter than storing it as zeros and ones. Yeah. So the next part we have is hosting. So hosting, we won't touch on it a lot. It's about like web apps. Like some apps, for example, like Firebase console itself is a web app. You go to your browser and you go to this website. You don't really need to download like Firebase for Windows or Firebase for Mac. No such thing. Yeah. So hosting is for web apps, and then functions is for server-side code. Because to say a very practical thing, it is not safe to have all your code inside your customer's app, because this leaves your code or your whole app vulnerable to people who have malicious intent. They might just want to hack into your app and can steal your code. And another thing about functions is you can have automations safely without even managing the server. Google manages the servers for you. For example, like you see here in Firestore database, this I think real time. This layout is definitely different from what you see here in your layout. Like what you will see if you created a new project, it should look like this. But for this iDiary, because we have used it quite a few times, so it changes the layout. And who decides like how the interface should look like? You can define it inside functions. For example, for your iDiary app, or any app you create actually, if you can define a function. If it's a new user, then you can give him, let's say, a quick walkthrough like this walkthrough I'm giving you right now. If it's not a new user, then show something else. If it's a long-term user, let's say like using for like 100 days, 1000 days, then prompt some message, congratulations, is your 100 or 1000 day using this app. And all this code, this backend code can be written inside functions. Okay, next. Machine learning. Yeah, okay. So machine learning is like the smart part of your app. It has like very simple ML, like auto sending emails, or you can have like spell check and like image recognition. So image recognition will be the machine learning model that we will use throughout this at the end of this course, so that your app iDiary will be able to recognize images for landmarks. And then if let's say you know how to code your own machine learning model and Firebase doesn't have the model provided for you, you can always import your own code inside using TensorFlow Lite. Okay, and so that's for build. Now we'll move on to the other parts here. So first is Crashlytics. Yeah, so it shows like what happens to your app when there's error. And then actually, right, if you're like new to all these, most probably a lot of these here will have these videos. You can just watch. They're like 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most. Yeah, you can just explore it here. Next, we have performance monitor, which sees like how well your app is doing. Then test lab. So test lab, they use RoboTest. That's their name of their tester. Yeah, Android RoboTest. So you want to like test your app actually across like many devices. If you have just created an app and you test it only on like, let's say Pixel 5, it might work on Pixel 5 and it might not work on other phones. So test lab does the trouble for you to actually like test it on different devices, so that you make sure that your app can run on almost every device. And this is a very important function here, because like there are all kinds of mobile, even Android itself, a lot of Android devices out there in the real world right now. Okay, next is app distribution. So this is also for beta. You can release your app that it before you release to your customers, you release to these testers first. And then doing it without app distribution is actually like really troublesome because you need to contact your own testers, and then you send it to them one by one, and you collect their feedback one by one, and you have to make sure all this trouble while you're creating your app, all this information must be organized. And in this case, Firebase console does the work for you. So you can view like who are your testers and how have they, which versions are your testers using, and how are their ratings. So release and monitor is basically about pre-release. Next, analytics. So in analytics, it's more about like after you release and you have your statistics after your app, so that you want to know like how well your app is doing out there. There are like many parts here, so I won't go through each of them. I just want to mention like audiences, so you can see like which kind of people like your app, which kind of people don't. Is sometimes I won't actually go into it. But basically, in short, analytics is when you want to see how good your ads are doing. Like you can see your latest release even. Okay, and this is like the second last part. So first is predictions. Like we all know like, that nobody can actually look into the future. At least that's between like human bounds. But predictions have been a thing that computer scientists have been interested for a long time, where you take the behavior of your users and then you analyze it to predict what would they do in the future. So these predictions can help to know that like, is your user going to continue using your app very actively? Then you can plan some rewards for him. Or if your user might actually like delete or uninstall your app, then you might want to plan something to keep him interested to your app. So predictions can help you with this. Next, you have alpha beta testing. So A/B test is also another like really frustrating test that is really like hard to do without Firebase console. So alpha beta test, as the name implies, you create a variable. It's like more of a primary school experiment. As long as you can, the variable could be something like changing the theme from light to dark, or like I said for Among Us, you control the free chat function. Before you release it, you put it into an alpha beta test. One is your original app, one is your modified app, and you see whether the changes are really effective by comparing the data after the test. So without Firebase console, this is really like time consuming, and it's a lot of information that needs to be analyzed. So Firebase console does the trouble for you so that your alpha beta test can happen effectively and you know what's best for your app. And then there's like cloud messaging, in-app messaging. Some of you might have seen this, like your apps feel like they talk to you. So for example, like Shopee, like or some what you call that, merchant e-commerce kind of app, they feel like, congratulations, you have spent so much money, then we are giving you some rewards, for example. Yeah, you have like in-app and cloud messaging to help you out. Then remote config. So remote config is mainly tailored for those who want to like delete your app. Then you change a bit of how your app looks so that the users remains interested. So personalization and customization happens here. Okay, two more. So in dynamic links, what we have here is like, I don't know, like some of you may have been through this, where you like click into an image or click into a link, and then it opens Lazada for you, let's say. And if you don't have Lazada, it opens your Google Store or Play Store or App Store for you and brings you to the Lazada page, and you are just one step away from the install button. So dynamic links is doing the magic here. So imagine if it works for your app, then you can promote your app the same way Lazada does. I believe like this one, many people already have the experience. So yeah, it's dynamic links doing the work here. And last one for engage is add mod. So like as I said, app development should be a profit-making business. So ad mob is a way where you use ads to gain more revenue. besides in-app purchases. So like let's say like free users, you make them watch ads before they move on to the next stage. I believe like many people have been through that. And then maybe like if for users that they pay, they can turn off their ads. Yeah, so you can have ad mobs here, sorry, to actually encourage your app to gain more money. And lastly, these are the extensions. I've said just now, pre-tested code for you to, how to say, pre-tested code so that you don't need to code it yourself. You can just plug and play. This is more of a plug and play thing. Okay, finally. So like for example here, BigQuery, trigger emails. So like first time, trigger emails, one example would be like when you make some key changes. Let's say you deleted your profile photo and then it triggers an email sent to your email that have you deleted your profile photo or have you changed your password? Yeah, this is also very like practical example here. You can have payments, image resizing, and more. Okay, and then of course you can upgrade where you need to pay and whatnot. But in this case, for this course, you don't need to actually upgrade this, so we won't go through like the more premium kind of versions. Whew. All right, so that was a whole walkthrough, and you see like you can have like different projects here. Oh wait, now you only have like one project, but here I have like I have like 3 projects here. Don't ask me why the third one. Okay, so with the walkthrough of Firebase console, to be honest, I think I've just like scratched the surface. There's a lot more for you to discover. So you can click at the go to docs and there's like tons of information here. You can spend your time reading it or watching it on YouTube. The internet is flooding with information about Firebase. Just get out there and explore more about it. It's beaming with potential. So now that I've talked for so long, I will first stop my screen. We are going to do the second last activity, which is connecting your Android Studio to Firebase. Okay, so I would like to ask Jia Hong to share his screen. And for all of you listening here, please keep your Firebase open in your browser and then also open Android Studio. Jia Hong, can you open Android Studio?
Give me a second, yeah.
Yeah, to the new app. Okay, so
Okay, wait, give me a second.
Also open, but you don't need to turn on the emulator already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't read the message here, but yeah, the difference between real-time and Firestore and Cloud Firestore is really like Cloud Firestore is more powerful. It scales up more and is designed for like bigger enterprises, while like real-time database is the simpler version. Okay, it's really just a trade-off between accessibility and functionality. Yeah. Okay, so everyone, you're in Android Studio already, right? So like how Jia Hong has placed his cursor on, click on Tools, and there will be a Firebase option. So click on that. Okay, Tools, Firebase. Yeah.
Okay.
Can click now.
Yeah, you'll start to load it.
Yeah. So when you click on Tools, then click on Firebase, it will load and then open. This is what we call a Firebase assistant. And you see like most of the functions that I've said just now appear here. And we are going to go to real-time database. Sorry, I had a bit much of too much garlic just. Yeah. So open, click on. Okay. So here there are 2 options. One is get started with real-time database. The other is the same but with a Kotlin behind. So obviously it's telling you if you're Kotlin, only click on the second one. But we are doing Java, so we'll click on the first one. Click on the getting started with Firebase. Hey, wait.
I think you just
go to the new app.
Oh, so you want me to create one new one, right?
Yeah. You have to you see this one is already connected, so like to show you like the one that's not connected
Okay,
yet.
okay. Give me a second.
Because like for the rest of you, like if you haven't connected, it should not be connected yet. So we'll just create this dummy new project. But for the rest of
Sorry,
you, you can
sorry.
stay where you are.
Okay, wait, give me a second. Tools.
Okay, for some of you who didn't keep up, we will take this as a repeat. So click on Tools and then click on Firebase.
Wait,
Okay.
Okay, so right now, I'll go to the tool here.
Yeah, click on Tools.
It's blocking me.
Tools is in between Run and I think VCS.
Yeah, because the Microsoft sharing thing is blocking me to click.
Okay. Your time.
Okay. So tool, Firebase. Okay, guys, follow.
Yes, okay. And look for real-time database, not Cloud Firestore, yeah? Real-time database and click on it. Okay, then you have 3 steps here. So the first step, connect to Firebase. So click. So yeah, click on the OK button and you see down there, there's this Gradle build running. So this part takes some time. And then after a while, it will open the Firebase console. So yeah, we'll give it a wait. And while we are waiting here, I want to mention this, that connecting Firebase to Android Studio can happen both ways. So in this case, we are starting with Android Studio because it's simpler and more direct. But if you are just in the mood to go the hard way and start from Firebase, then start from Firebase and connect down to Android Studio, then it's your call really. Okay, so right here, choose a project to continue. You can either add a project or like we've just created iDiary just now. So click on the iDiary project that we just created. Yeah. Okay, so click on connect. And then right now you can close this window already. Okay, and then so step 1 is ticked. Now click on step 2, add the real-time database to your app. Click, and then just click on accept changes. Also, it will load for a while.
Okay.
Okay, so now there's a tick here. If you scroll down to see like step 3 and 4, there's not really like any instructions per se or buttons for you to click anymore. Instead, you will have to go to your to your Firebase console to continue with the next steps. Even though like technically at this point, it's already connected. Like I might sound like anticlimactic, but yeah, your Android app is connected to your Firebase console already. Okay, just a few more things we want to do. So go into your iDiary. We're gonna give like 10 seconds for you to connect. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are in. Click on real-time database. And then click on the rules tab. Okay, so for some, and make sure that you are in the edit rules tab. Like Jiahong is already in here. So you will see the rules. There'll be a read and a write. And most probably what's behind the colon isn't the word true on your screen. It will be some kind of like a chain of numbers and symbols and letters. So right now I want you to change that string for read and write to true. Just highlight them like you do in normal coding and type the word true inside. So what this does is to allow users to edit your database information from the Firebase console. And in real life, this is not practical because it makes your app vulnerable. That once people hack into your Firebase console, they can edit the rules from there, which means your data will be lost or will be tampered with. But in our case, to make things easy, for like in case you have like some rules you want to change, like some data, you want to change from your Firebase console or you want to change from your Android Studio, suddenly read and write to true will make things easy for you. Even though when you go out to the real world, this isn't really like recommended. Even to explore about rules, you can always read the documentation and you can test it out by yourself. But yeah, with like I've said that much, I believe that is enough time for you to type like 8 letters on your keyboard. And with that, congratulations. The content for week 1 is complete. You have survived this 1.5 hour. And right now, I will hand it over to Mara.
I think I will share the screen now.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are bearing with us. Just few steps to finish this session. So, first of all, before I try to end, I'm sure that you guys might have a lot of questions or problems that you're facing. So the today's session was mostly for you to install Android Studio and try to create your Firebase project and connect these two together. So from the second session, we're starting and building our app and start programming. So make sure that you follow all the steps, and if anything goes wrong and we can't actually address it right now at the moment because we have a time constraint to end the session quickly. But however, you are so welcome to private message me through Teams and tell me your problems. And I'll be able to answer you actually after the event when it's over. So before that, again, I want to remind you to do your attendance. So everyone who's live with us right now, joining our event, and actually who are joining right now and in the future, we have 4 more sessions to go. And if you attend all of these sessions, you'll get a certificate. And for that, we need your name. So please go ahead again. If you haven't done, do your attendance because it will we will close the spreadsheet link exactly at 10 p.m. And for now, I need to actually announce something that we announced last week in our info session. So next slide. Okay. At the end of this workshop, you should we're gonna have a already built-in application that we are doing it together during all of these sessions. Just like actually, it's the project that Jean-Hong just showed at the beginning of our session. So, and that's the iDiary app. So here, because we want to have more fun and we want to see how informative and how useful was our event, we want to have a challenge. So we have Android Development Challenge here. And there are 2 tasks for you to participate in this challenge, either by improving this project that we're going to work on in the next 4 weeks, try to improve by modifying UI or adding new feature. So during each session, we'll go step by step, baby steps, and then we will give you some hints of how to improve actually this app because this app has a lot of room for improvement. So, and then you can participate either by modifying this current app that we're gonna build, or if you're so interested on making your app with your desired topic, you're also welcome to do. And then you need to submit your app to us by 4th December up to 12th December. This is the submission period. And more on the details of when the result is going to be out, just stay tuned in our social media. And also there will be mysterious prizes or gift for the winners. And at last, before finishing this session, I like actually you guys to give us your feedback. So there will be a link we shared. We will share in the chat box. It's a form, Google form. Please fill it up and tell us what are our mistakes to try to improve our session at every week. And that is all. If anyone has any question, please go ahead and ask before we end this session. And one more thing.
Unmute or type your questions.
Yes, you're encouraged to unmute yourself and ask. One more thing I want to also talk about. Just now we learned a lot in Firebase. There are so many services in Firebase that you can explore on and use it. But in our workshop, the name also says Android Development in Action. So in action, we try to use the services that help us to build our app. So in our workshops, we only use Firebase real-time database, Firebase storage, and Firebase authentication. So on the next session, we'll try to do a login page and we enable authentication. And that will be by signing in with Google account. So stay tuned for future, and there will be a lot more to learn and some more fun to go ahead and learn. So any question? Okay, great. It's good that we can see some reaction here. Heart back, like back. Okay, I think we can dismiss the recording. So the recorded session will